also, Ariel, I need a coffee.
Can I make you?
Extra strength. Do you know what time is it by you guys?
9
o'clock.
Yeah.
5 past 9.
And you're drinking coffee now? There's caffeine in there?
We're trying to wake back up after a long day.
It's not the last, also.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
Am I on Instagram? What? Yeah. Okay. So
Yeah. And I'm
you guys are making me so jealous. Reb Schneider, I have to put the coffee song. 1 cup of coffee. Where is that? Hold on.
It's the like,
One cup of coffee, then I go.
Yeah,
I
I love you guys. I love you guys. Literally, I missed that voice. Hold on.
I just muted us soon.
My God.
So she needs it now. Okay. 1 minute. You want to delay?
I want to delay.
So wait. So you guys mute yourself on.
Which one are we talking to?
Missed that voice.
I'm so confused.
One second. So I just muted us on Zoom. So now we're hearing us in delay on Instagram.
No, I have to put you on Instagram. Hold on, let me see you guys.
So you guys.
Okay.
Okay, that's it. Now we're all on Instagram.
That was a sensory overload.
Guys, who's holding coffee in her hand. Hold on, I hope it does. There we go! Okay, let me get my volume up here. Do you guys hear me?
I'm doing it. You see, I have these special, I don't know if you see it, but the light in my eyes, like this cool effect.
Oh gosh, what's up with the internet? Minute.
Hold on, we're waiting.
Okay.
Okay. Can you hear us here on Instagram? Because it stopped.
And Instagram, give us a thumbs up if you hear us. You guys say something. Chaya, Reb Schneider, say something.
Yeah. So can you hear us over there on both Instagram and Zoom?
Let me see. Hold on. We're waiting on them to tell us how we are. Not clear? Oh.
Not clear.
Hold on. Who's not clear? Me or them? Because I could change my Wi-Fi. Every time I do Israel ones, they tell me that there's a problem. Oh, wait. I'm getting a lot of thumbs up. I think we're good.
We're good.
Okay.
Yay.
If anyone has a problem, go off. I'm tapping my screen and come back on. All right. Yeah. Awesome. Chaya, Reb Schneider, how are you?
We are
amazing.
Awesome. So happy to be here. So excited to join your Shimmy Schmooze. I watch it all the time. You should know.
And I'm a super fan as well, you know.
Yeah.
I am hold on. They're telling me that my face isn't clear. Let me see what I took it off Wi-Fi. Hold on, let me see if do you guys see me clearly?
Yeah.
Yeah, now we do. Before it wasn't so clear. Now it's better.
It's better now? Okay, guys,
Yeah.
let me know. Thumbs up. Hashem, please help me. They're actually making me a coffee downstairs. Thank you, Yaeli. Guys, I'm taking it to a whole nother level. It's iced coffee. Wait, Yaeli, don't leave this.
Mic drop.
They're telling me my face isn't clear. I don't know why. Oh, somebody's telling. Okay, we're good now. Okay, guys, we're both in Eretz Yisrael. And really, you're from the other side of the world. And the number one question is, guess what the number one question was?
I give up.
Is that how you did, Reb Schneider, in school? I give up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you know things, you never learn anything, right?
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם שהכל נהיה בדברו.
Amen.
I love how you speak with a regular American accent. Suddenly you go like full Israeli.
It's like turn it up.
That's like my remix. Baruch atah. And the funny thing is, Reb Schneider, I don't know if you have an Israeli accent because I know Chaya has.
I'm so confused. I don't know what accent I have in American, Australian, Israeli.
Totally. People have no idea.
By the way,
where
it now has Arabic too, so it's totally like, forget about it.
messed up.
Yeah.
It's not messed up. It's like, oh, but that wasn't the number one question if Reb Schneider has an Israeli accent. That wasn't the number one question. The number one question was, Chaya and DeScribe our siblings? Oh my God.
I know. We're shocked also. I mean, we couldn't believe
when
it.
we found out, it was like, bam! You know what I'm saying? Whoa! Who would have thunk it?
I didn't know you're actually that funny, guys. Like together, you're even funnier.
We're crazy together.
You're cray cray. You know why, guys? A lot of people wanted to know where they're originally from. Say it together.
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
Australia.
Down under.
It's kangaroo style.
Alone. You guys are Australia,
Yeah.
but one of you has.
You know the birds in Australia fly upside down?
Are you serious?
Yeah. I mean, if we're underneath, we actually walk upside down too.
And
Yeah.
What does it make?
Real big.
We all used to ride kangaroos to school. People don't know, but you know, it's a thing in Australia.
Toilets turn the other way.
I would be tripping. The toilets go the other way?
Yeah. When I got to America, I was like, what? Something's wrong here.
The toilet paper, does it go like, you know how they pull it from like forward or you pull it from
No,
the back?
we pull it from above. From above.
We pull it down. We pull it down, you know?
Hold on. You guys, could you hear on Zoom? Because someone mentioned on Instagram that you can't hear. You're good. Everyone's good. Everyone stop complaining. We have what's your Hasofer is your maiden name, right?
Yeah.
We have the Hasofers on live. What could be, and everything in the world just stops. Everything is perfect right now. Someone wrote, I literally always thought DeScribe was Jamaican.
He colored himself white.
Yeah.
What's a color these days, right?
I'm an
It's
albino.
what?
I'm an albino.
Well, when you hear you singing, you could have fooled us, buddy.
I have a lot of Jamaican influence.
Yeah.
That one cup of coffee, there I go. Right? By the way, if you were to ask me, I think that's my favorite song you ever, my favorite of all time.
Yeah.
Really?
My favorite.
I wouldn't have guessed that.
However, you wouldn't?
No.
However,
I feel like I made other songs that that would potentially be that.
Right.
guys, I don't know if you know, but I call him Reb Schneider. That's his real name, Schneider. We're going to find out why his name is DeScribe, why you called yourself DeScribe, and Chaya, why you called yourself Chaya Kogen. It's so weird. What?
Yeah, I know.
So original.
Yeah, until we thought of the name, it took some time, but we got it.
Yeah.
You like said, do Kogen? All right, Kogen it is. But I want to tell you, the Set Me Free song.
Oh, that's my song. That's my favorite. That is the one.
Is that your favorite, Chaya?
It's that one.
Chaya, people think that we're like very good friends. They're like, oh my God, I didn't know you're friends there. I'm like, I actually never spoke to her. But I'm so connected to her. I love her.
Zolmim, Zolmim.
Zolmim Zaneshama. If you're Sfardi, you connect to everybody, even though you're not Sfardi. I know.
We have the party inside.
Yeah, we're hot Ashkenazis, you know what I'm saying?
They're spicy.
Yeah, we got that spice.
Yeah.
Definitely.
You actually look so much cooler on Zoom. You're so much clearer. I see your faces. It's amazing. Who's? I feel bad. I don't know if I'm going to get into the doghouse right now. but who's older? Is that a question? Like, how dare you? I look so
That
much.
was like, yes! You know what I'm saying? Yes!
For him.
Yes!
Now
yes.
you get it?
Now I'm a suit. Like, if I was a super fan before, that's it. I'm gonna be like all day, every day. Shut it down. You know what I'm saying?
So hold on. Well, you both look like you're 23. No, not a day older.
Yes.
So for me, switch the numbers.
So 23 years ago, when I served in the Israeli army, right?
Speaking. Oh my God! Hello, represent. Look what I wore for you guys.
I'll give you a little hint. 20 years ago, I served in the IDF. 20 years ago, I served in the IDF. I was just thinking about that on the way here. I was like, 1 second.
Hashtag you're old. Hashtag you're old.
Huh?
You're old. Yeah. But you're
like you just made their life.
By the way, people were so upset that you're coming on at 2 p.m. in our time, because they're like, they don't want to miss it, and they're all working and in school, and I'm like, what should I do there in Israel? And it's not the same if you're not live. If you watch a recording, זה לא אותו דבר. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like
the real McCoy is the real McCoy.
But I have to tell you, no matter what, you guys ended up in Israel, no matter where you come from, where you all end up in Eretz Israel. But
yeah, waiting for everyone else to come.
Yeah, we're setting up.
You're setting up for us?
Yeah, we're setting up. We're getting ready.
Okay, guys, this is what happened.
We got table duty. You know what I'm saying? Someone's gonna sweep the floor.
We're out here.
After the live.
People are watching you in traffic. They're in traffic in New York and watching this live.
Okay, don't do that, guys. Don't
dangerous.
Do that. Look at the road.
But you know what? All the English people are coming. They're like, at least for once we can enjoy the live. All the people on that side, you're welcome. This one's for you. But
may you have many more rides to come, healthy ones.
Amen. Reb Schneier, you were rocking it out in America, right?
Yes.
We fall in love with you. You do events in the zone. You come out with the 6 CD. You go to Israel, and you never come back, like ever.
Right.
What's up with that?
I
People want to know. You have to answer to the world.
Yeah, you know what? This is actually the first time that I've been willing to tell anybody. And it's also the first time that anybody has asked me publicly this question.
Wait,
so,
Reb Schneier, I'm starting to feel that people just say this to me because it's my shimmy schmooze. Everyone's like, listen.
No. I can vouch.
Really?
I can vouch. He's never spoken about this before.
I've
publicly,
I've
ever.
Literally been
He literally disappeared and didn't come back, as you said, and never came back up.
Yeah.
Well,
so,
you're on top. We just don't see it.
Definitely.
He's there, but it's just like hiding in the meantime while everyone's listening to his amazing music. He's like hiding out here in Israel. So
I'm happy. I'm happy that.
Very crazy story.
Yeah,
I'm happy that Chaya is there, because if she confirms, then I believe it.
She can corroborate everything.
It's always been just like within the family and like people here and friends, but he's never really ever spoken about it.
No. This is the first time. I was actually thinking on the way here. I was wondering if you were gonna ask me that question, and
are you gonna kill me after, or you're like, thank you, Shimi. I waited for a moment.
It's actually pretty. It's a pretty crazy story. Okay, here goes.
Hold on to your seats, folks. It's gonna be a bumpy ride.
I came to the United States with the goal of getting a major record label deal. That was my goal, flat out. Like, I was gonna come. Firstly, I became religious. Okay, I became religious because I come from a Chabad family, but as a kid I fried out, and I was fried till like 24 years old, till 4 years after my military service. And something very crazy happened to me. I became religious. I saw the light and became a Baal Tshuva, and I decided to go study in yeshiva and become close to God. And while I was in yeshiva, I realized that my life dream was to be a successful artist. And I learned that if a person has talents and doesn't use them, it's literally an avera, bal tashchis. And God gave you something to use and you're not using it. And it's like throwing away a special resource and it's bal tashchis. It's a sin. And at that moment, I decided to build a studio in yeshiva and start creating, pretty much creating my music career. I asked my rabbi, and he supported me 100%. And I actually built a recording studio inside my yeshiva in Seagate, New York. And it was a crazy story. Yeah, trippy as hell. And
in Seagate?
And I started recording my first album. Yeah.
In Seagate? You said it's in Seagate?
Seagate.
That's so cool.
Yeah, yeah. And that's basically how I got into, that's like, to make a really long story short, I started my music career. Then, since I was in New York, I realized that New York, I want to succeed on the world stage, not on the, on top of local gig. I feel like, I have big dreams. I think big. And so I realized that New York was the place that I needed to do it, because that's like the center of the world when it comes to media and power, and the eyes of the world are there. And if you can succeed in New York, you can succeed anywhere, literally. So I felt like that was where I wanted to do it. I got married. I moved back to New York, and started pursuing my music career with the goal of, basically getting a major record deal. And everything was going great, and everything was amazing. But to be honest, there were certain aspects in my personal life that I wasn't taking care of properly, and my thinking was flawed. And I'll be totally honest about it right now. In hindsight, I should have done things a different way. But this is how we learn in life. And I made some, you could say, bad judgment calls. At the same time, I was propelling myself at breakneck speed towards a major deal. And there was a television production company, a major television production company that does a lot of very big television shows that a lot of people in the audience will probably know, but I'm not going to say names now because, for whatever reason. I basically, through my management, we ended up getting interest of this production company, and they lived with me for like a year, traveled with me, came to my shows, everywhere I traveled, even overseas, they came with me, and then, lived in my house, came to shul with me, crazy stories, they met all my friends. They went deep into my life, and they decided that they wanted to go ahead. The show was called Living with the Enemy, and it was about me going into extreme hatred communities around the U.S. and eventually around the world. Neo-Nazis, gangs, KKK, Amish, extreme left-wing groups, a lot of crazy groups, and basically showing them that their hatred is based on a lie, and that people, that everybody is beautiful, and you have to give everyone a chance, and basically changing the way they think by living with them, and just showing them that everything that they thought about, let's say Jews, is totally wrong, just by living with them. And it was a really amazing deal, and I got a contract. It took me 2 years to negotiate the contract, and I got a great contract. And at the same time, my wife wanted to come to a wedding in Israel.
She wanted to go what? To a wedding?
Her youngest sister was getting married.
Oh, okay.
That was the last marriage in the family, and she's very, very family oriented, being Persian. It's like
you married a Persian?
I married a Persian. My wife is
hardcore.
Yeah.
Chaya stuck to her people, to the Ashkenazim, and you're I'm going all out.
Okay, so he met Sima through me. So come on, she was my friend.
You set them
My
up.
my best friends are like Yemeni and Persian, and that's
Go
I told
Yemeni!
Sima.
Yeah, who's Sima to you? How do you know Sima?
I said Sima. We worked like in the music business together. We became friends, and I'm like, Sima, I have a brother.
Hold on, Sima sings also?
Not really, but I was in a group. Hey, let me finish this story and then I'll talk about Sima.
I'm writing all this down. I'm not letting anyone get away with anything. How we met Sima. We're gonna come back to that.
Introduce me to my wife. So basically, she did not want to. We were in the middle of a green card process at the time. We were close to the end because I'm not American. We were close to the end of the process, and we were advised not to leave while the process is happening. But my wife really wanted to go to this wedding.
Well, it is her sister's wedding, after all.
And she goes overseas. There's no way I'm letting her go by herself, so I'm going with her 100%. And I had a really bad feeling about this. But there was some trouble between the US and Israel at the time. And we had to renew the visas when we were in Israel. And they renewed my wife's visa and not mine, which basically had me stuck with a backpack for 2 weeks. And everything I had in New York, all my connections, my career, my everything in New York, my life, my bags, my apartment, everything in New York. And me with a bag with 2 weeks of clothes, stuck in Israel without a visa to return to the US. And they said I can try again in 6 months. I had already 3 days before I flew to Israel, I started shooting my television show in Los Angeles. They were already going in, budgets were being spent, and the second I got stuck in Israel for 6 months, I lost the contract. I couldn't return. I realized that God had done this for a reason, and my father taught me that when God leads you by the nose, go with him. You don't want to try and fight that type of thing. And I had to try and understand why this was happening. And I came to realize that I made some mistakes and that God was telling me I need to focus on my family and I need to focus on my kids and shalom bayis and the things that are important to people in life. Because when you build a house, you need to build it on foundations. You can't build it on mud, You build a big house on mud, then it just sinks, Interesting enough, in that time, I also realized that to be stable, I need to add another career to my life. Because when I came here, I couldn't travel to shows. Basically, my career shut down. Basically like Corona. Bam, just shut down. And this happened to me 5 years ago.
Yeah, that's all I'm thinking. As you're saying this, I'm like, the world is experiencing what Reb Schneier experienced back then in a global form. It's like, I'm leading you by the nose. You think you have it all under control, and
but imagine how traumatizing that is. I remember when it happened, when it just within one day, he has his whole life planned and suddenly nothing. He can't even go back home. He can't even get something out of his closet. He can't go home. He's stuck at my parents' house.
I was so depressed. I actually didn't speak. I couldn't speak. I couldn't bring myself to talk to anybody for 6 months.
Are you serious?
I hated life so bad, and I thought that God was the most evil God ever, and that I couldn't imagine a more excruciating way to punish somebody. After 7 years of struggling to achieve my goal, and literally the paperwork coming through on the day he cancels my visa and locks me away from everything I've ever built. It was really but it wasn't just a little hey, you should do this. It was boom, you're going the wrong way. You know what I'm saying? It was like that. And everything was just shut down, and everything that who I was and everything that meant anything to me was just shut down. And I had to basically GPS had to find a new route, and after 6 months of depression, yeah.
Now, Chaya, you were living in Beretz Israel at that time when he came to Israel?
We got married a month apart. So I was like, 2 months after I got married, I moved to Moscow. But, you know, we were going back and forth.
Okay.
Always. So.
Okay.
She's an international woman of mystery.
We're gonna get back, Chaya. Don't even think you're getting off the hook. I got a whole questionnaire for you.
This is where the crazy stuff is. I'm like,
oh, no.
I'm the warm up.
This is the warm up to the crazy, guys. The warm up to the crazy.
So,
okay.
So I was like, okay, 1 second, what's going on over here? Everything happens for a reason, and you know, it was very clear that what I'm supposed to be doing is not going back to the States. And I found myself in a field, literally. Like, I bought an apartment here in Kiryat Malachi, and it's literally in a field. And I'm sitting there on my porch one day, looking out to this beautiful view of, like, smelling the cows.
You're smelling the poop, and you're like, that's exactly what my life smells like.
Wow, the sweet smell of my wife's village.
Yeah. Anytime we come near Kiryat Malachi, my kid's like, okay, we smell Kiryat Malachi.
Like 10-mile radius, you can smell like methane.
Not even in there yet. It's like, okay, we're near Kiryat Malachi.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, it's like a street sign. But anyways, yeah. So basically, I'm sitting there. I'm like, what does he want from me? Okay, he wants me to be in a field, far away from everybody, far away from my music career, far away from everything. And clearly, if, you know, the way everything was set up, my music career could not exist in the current setup. Me being here, sort of exiled from everything I'd built. I didn't have any of my resources here. And I was like, okay, so this is, okay, I got to figure out how to do it here. I came to the realization that I never, ever want to be in such a situation ever again. I never want to find myself stuck with nothing ever again. It was just like, I had nothing. What I did was I went to school and became an engineer. I'm a civil engineer. And now the idea of that was to create some type of stability in life so that I can, you know, have, you know, to be blunt, always have good cash flow and have the peace of mind not to be stuck ever. And from that platform and from a healthy family platform, raising my kids, learning with them, teaching them Aleph Beis, you know, being there, taking them to school in the morning, picking them up, being there every day. When my son was born, I was at a show in Germany. I wasn't even there at his birth. My wife gave birth in New York while I was performing in Germany. That's what type of a life I was leading. It's not the way to be done. So this is what I'm doing. I'm raising my kids. I'm being a good father. In the meantime, I had like a whole bunch more kids. So I was like, wow, this is so much fun. I got this, like the first one. Yeah, that was a great model. Like the first one was like, oh my God, I've never loved someone so much. And then I was like, no, I can't love another person that much. And then I was maybe I can.
Let's try.
So let's try.
Kiryat Malachi does you well.
It's like double as much. Oh my God. So like I was like, we gotta repeat this model. And then so I was like, this business is working, you know? And so now I'm like surrounded by like awesome little kids. And I love them so much. They're amazing. Every single one of them is super cool. And I'm doing, you know, I built the foundation to a human being, you know what I mean? This is what I should have done before I started embarking on chasing down the world and trying to, you know, take over New York, you know, what I was doing before. Listen, I want to make it very clear. I'm an artist. Oh, I'm a Lubavitcher artist.
Represent, people, represent.
Represent. That's what I'm talking about.
People always ask me if I'm Chabad. I'm like, what does Chabad mean? To love,
Chabad
to
is everyone's
accept,
Chabad.
to not judge, and we're all one. That's Chabad.
Yeah, we're all Chabad.
So the Lubavitcher said that whoever wants to be my chassid, so it's someone who tomorrow decides. What is it? Tomorrow decides to be better than he was today, or something like that. It's like whoever
love
said
that.
that is my chassid.
Mic drop.
I love
So
that.
whoever decides to be better tomorrow or today than he was yesterday, then he's thrown down.
Mic
Drop the Tums. Drop the Tums.
No, don't drop that.
It's getting a party in here. By the way, guys, you had a lot of people commenting Seagate. You had a lot of shout outs from Seagate. People who live there now.
We love Seagate, and Rabbi Lipsker is amazing. And
then another brother of ours, he also went to study there.
Yeah, it's a great place. Rabbi Lipsker taught me that first and foremost, we have to look at ourselves as basically a behemoth, and you have to start acting like a human being. Stop taking 2 tissues, take 1 at a time. You know what I'm saying? You walk into a room, shut the door. You know what I'm saying? If you eat something, clean up after yourself. That's what being a Jew means. You know what I mean?
Simple. It's simple.
It was like boot camp for being a human being, you know?
I also have a follower from Scotland who's on right now. And when she told me Scotland, I'm like, I have a Jewish follower from Scotland? And I'm like, are you Chabad? Obviously, you go there, right? Who lives in Scotland if you're not doing shlichus? And she's not Chabad.
What?
I know. It happens to be that she's Ger Chassid, and there was a community of them a while back, and everybody like dispersed, and their father decided he wants to stay there and do kiruv.
Wow.
So they're
I need to hear like the Scottish version of Yiddish.
Oh my gosh.
Yo, that would be like, oh my god,
mind blown.
Yeah, it's just like a bird.
Chaya, you're getting a lot of compliments. Chaya's looking good.
Ooh, thank you.
And it's like 10 p.m. It's 10 p.m. there, and she still looks good.
I put my makeup on about half an hour ago.
But I love, first of all, you don't know how many people you're inspiring, because so many people are trying to find themselves, especially now during quarantine. And we all thought like we had it all together. And like, I'm doing this, I'm achieving that. I have goals, I have dreams, aspirations. And then, oh my God, your eyes, now I see it. I see the reflection. It's freaky.
He has googly eyes.
I didn't see it till now. But
I need to work on
that. I know, right? I love what you're saying, because I feel like it's giving some sort of clarity to people, where like God is doing this to all of us right now, where it's like, I want you to take a step back.
It's okay, guys. It's gonna be fine. In the end, it all worked out. I promise.
Look at him.
You haven't told you guys the good news. I want to tell you something. I want to make a statement. Okay, I need to make a statement because I don't want anyone to get it twisted. I didn't go off and become an engineer and forget about being an artist. Okay. The whole reason I became an engineer is so that I never have to stop ever being an artist. Not 1 year, not 2 years, not 3 years, not 4, 5 or 6. You know what I'm saying? When I come back out, and I'm coming back out, it will be forever. I will be set up in a way that I never have to retreat ever again, no matter where I'm located in the world, because I have built the foundations that I need to build in order to build my building now. Okay. And the truth, and this is the deal.
Yeah.
I finished studying. I am now working as an engineer. I'm head engineer of a $200 million massive project here in Israel. It's
wow, Reb Schneier is showing off. Yeah.
Amazing. Okay. This guy is so talented.
It's crazy.
Not only in music, he is super smart. He was head of his class throughout all his studying. Yeah, he was like always the first. So this guy.
This is my building. You can see it.
Oh my goodness. Did you pick the
Yeah.
colors? Because those colors are very, very cool.
I didn't design the colors, but I built all of that. Yeah.
Wow. Look at that.
Um,
I love that. I feel like I had that like with my business because I do event bas mitzvahs. At one point, I started doing bat mitzvahs, and I only was like situated in Brooklyn. And then all the principals we were talking about, it, and they're like, they want to make one communal bat mitzvah. So I used to be out twice every single Sunday, and then Brooklyn was like only one bat mitzvah per school, and everyone's like, "Oh, Shimi, your parnasa." I'm like, dude, calm it down. If I'm meant to make $1 or $1 million, it's all from a Kadosh Baruch Hu. And then I expanded. I couldn't do it in Brooklyn anymore, so I had to go to 5 towns, and my whole life opened up. And then, like, now I'm going internationally. But at one point, I was like, I don't have any jobs, and Hashem was like, no, I got you. I need you to reach your potential, and you're not getting it. You're stuck in one place. I'm like, right. I'm gonna show you how great you are. So if you're not gonna look at those doors, those opportunities, I'm gonna force you to open and look there.
It's all good. It's all good. We have to remember that we have to see. Listen, our brains are made out of steak, literally. Okay, let's not get it twisted. Okay, and God is infinite, so don't try and think that you got it all figured out. We don't have it figured out, but he has it figured out, and it's all gonna be okay. And everything is just to teach you something so that your way is that much better, and you'll see it as you move forward. And in the beginning, it's always the hardest. It's always the most twisted. It's always, the most painful. But if you believe in God and you trust that God is only good and that He is only going to ever be the greatest God ever and the greatest Father ever to His children, you'll see very soon how all of this will come together and be so much better for you. This is Corona. This is anything you're going through in life. This is any type of painful experience that anyone is going through. It's all going to be okay. It is all good now, and it will be even better. It will be even better, and it will become clear. Remember this,
Do you realize how much chizuk you guys are giving people right now? You have no idea how much chizuk you're giving people, because people are finding themselves in rotten situations. And like, just when you think like, oh, okay, it's going to get a little better, they're like, no camps for you. We're messing up your summer plans also.
Oh my God. So we have our schools back at least, and I know that you guys don't have them. I can't even imagine.
You don't have school?
No, they don't have school yet. I'm like writing to Bracha, Jeffy, and she's like, so how is it going by? I'm like, I just sent my kids to school. You don't even have school. Like, I can't imagine.
I have to tell you, the funniest meme that I've seen a million memes. The funniest one that represents our life right now is this. This guy, I told it in the other live, is like standing by the screen. It's New Year's Eve, 2020. The ball's about to drop. He's looking up the countdown. He has his drink to say L'chaim. 10, 9, 8, and it's going down. The ball drops. And he's ready for 2021, and it says 2020, the continuation, part 2. That's what 2020 is. Eze basa. That's what it is. So, first of all, you have. I was like writing comments also that you have love from Sally and Kim from Florida.
Is that brother and sister-in-law? I spoke to them today. They're like, we're gonna tune in. We saw that you guys are going on Shimi's show.
Yeah. But we miss them very much, and they're the best.
They live in Florida. Yes. But we're waiting for them to move back to Israel. So
I'm gonna bring your whole family back to Israel. I'm telling you.
You
too.
We're setting up.
Yeah.
We're setting up.
What do you want to say, Schneier?
This is a good thing about Corona. I mean, listen, it's a horrible thing, but we have to try and find the light in the darkness, because what are we going to do? Sulk? We have to try and be positive as much as possible. By the way, being positive makes positive. When we think positivity, thoughts are magnets. When you think positive, you draw positivity to you. When you think negative, you draw negativity to you. And so we need to always think positive that's anyways the most constructive way to get through anything in life is to think positive. And the fact is that, you know, in some weird way, like the corona is like, it's making everyone hold up so I can catch up a little bit. You know what I mean? Because I've been like, I'm like,
I need to tell you guys something.
Yeah,
so Shanae and I, every time I work on something, this is the first one I send it to him. I'm like, Shanae, I just made a song. Listen to it. Tell me what you think. Oh, I'm freaking out. And then, so I'm like waiting for him to see the 2 blue lines that like he's listened to it. And then it's played on. Did you listen? Did you listen? Did you listen?
I know that feeling. I do that too.
So he sent me something. He's like, hey, I'm back in the game. I'm working on stuff. I'm like, yeah, I'm so excited. Like jumping up and down with joy. And it's like, I'm sending you something. It's like just a rough copy. And the minute I heard the first like 10 seconds, I'm like, like he wasn't even next to me. I'm like completely like shivering with joy. I'm like, I'm so excited. Oh my God, it's amazing. And like, I'm literally so excited.
I'm feeling Chaya. What?
He is coming back so much bigger and so much better.
Yeah.
Like, he's incredible. This is just the first song that I heard, and it was a rough copy. Okay? So you can imagine what he's coming back with. Oh my gosh. Like,
no, and I'll tell you also something about both of you, actually. You have very distinct voices. Like, there are a million singers out there, and a lot of them they're great and they're sharing their talent, but they sound the same. I won't necessarily be like, oh, that's Chaya Kogen. That's, you know, like when you said about that poop, where's that from? Where do you live? Like when you smell that, you're like, oh, that's Kiryat Malachi. Lahavdil. But like,
wow.
Schneier, you have there's nobody in the world that even comes close to your vocals, to your sound. But
I gotta say,
both of you.
I think she is the most talented Jewish woman singer.
Standing ovation.
Today. I'm not even gonna play. Listen, I'm not saying it because she's my sister. I'm a super fan of hers, and I listen. You know, I listen to a little thing here or there. You know, I'm allowed to. I'm in the industry. I gotta check out the situation. You know what I mean? You know, but I gotta say that I really think that the Jewish music industry has been waiting for someone like her to come along.
Yes.
Just like give real, proper, amazing, you know, Jewish pop music. You know what I mean?
Aww.
It's the best. It's the best. You know, mainstream. It's like what people want to hear. They want to hear good music. They don't want to hear any cheesy stuff. You know? And she's so talented. Her voice is like she's got that, you know, like Mariah Carey whistle voice where you know you break the window. She can do that. It's crazy. It's nuts, man.
And I just want to add to that. Blame it on the blush, guys. She's blushing.
You know what? You know what they say? They say, "Die, no tamshich."
I was just gonna say that. Can you stop? Keep going.
Stop.
But Chaya, I want to tell everybody that Chaya came out with music for the intent and the hope and the goal to provide good Jewish music, because she doesn't want us to listen to the non-Jewish garbage out there. And you're doing just that. We need that. And I don't know if you're reading the comments, but people are like, Chaya, my daughter loves you. My daughter loves your music. You know what it is you're doing for teenagers who are struggling? Like, I get it. People tell the teens of our generation, you shouldn't listen to non-Jewish music. But then what? You got to balance it out with something. You can't come out with, you know, Rachem. No, we got to up the game, right?
So I had that problem when I was growing up and I was a teenager.
Wave it. Wave your candles, guys.
Yeah, I can't. Mine's on Instagram.
I'm so old school. Like, people literally do this now. Like, yeah.
He's still the original.
I gotta get with the program.
So when I was growing up, I really had a problem with that, because especially growing up in a Chabad family, it's like we were always told to listen to only to Jewish music, because when you listen to non-Jewish music, you connect to the soul of the person who wrote the song. So in Chabad, it's like a big deal not to listen to non-Jewish music and not to do covers of non-Jewish music, like nothing at all, because we know that in Hebrew they say manganot.
It's the
melodies, the
pen
tunes, the what?
It's the pen of the heart.
Basically, music is like
the pen of the soul. Sorry, music is the pen of the soul.
Like sometimes when you hear a song, it can completely change your mood. Like sometimes music can move you more than listening to a shir or listening to something. It can just it goes right in. Doesn't have to go through the brain.
It's so powerful.
Directly into the soul, bypassing everything else on the way.
All right. So that's why in Chabad it's like a big deal that we don't listen to non-Jewish music. We don't, do covers at all. Like even if you change the words to Tehillim or whatever, we don't do it. Because
you guys don't do covers. That's so interesting, because when you listen to it,
the source, because you can't elevate something that the source is not pure. You can't elevate something that the source is. Can't do that
unless you're a tzaddik.
Of course.
Certain tzaddikim were able to take songs, like for instance the Rebbeim of Lubavitch took like Napoleon's March and turned it into a nigun, because they were able to, because they're tzaddikim, they're able to transform the energy into something else. But regular people like us, we can't. We're not really designed like that.
So when I was growing up, I had a really hard time, because I was looking for something that I can learn from. As someone who we grew up, in a musical family.
Our mother's a singer.
Our mother's a singer.
Right, I heard she has the most magnificent. Can we give her a shout out? Deborah, right?
Her name's Deborah. She was one of the first female religious singers. Then it was like not something that was done. And she didn't even want to do it. And then the Lubavitcher Rebbe actually pushed her to do it, even though it was something that people weren't doing. And he actually said that it's something that needs to be done. Women need women's music. And, it was kind of frowned upon by many people, but only because he really gave her that bracha and told her to go forward and do it. That's the reason why she did it. She came out with an album. She went touring all over the U.S. It was incredible.
She's a real, 70s rock star.
Really?
For real. With the whole gown and everything, and
with big gold things coming down the side.
Now the time changes in the air.
Why was it frowned upon, Chaya?
It was frowned upon then because women coming out and going on stage, it wasn't kind of something that was
acceptable,
so appropriate in many people's eyes. But
they weren't ready for her.
Yeah, but when she came out, properly. People loved it, and she went touring, and she was very, very successful. I grew up with that.
If I was your mother, I would imagine she would come up on stage with her whole shebang. She'd be like, and everyone's watching her, and she looks straight into the camera, and she's like, "The Lubavitcher Rebbe said so."
Oh yeah,
that should be her opening.
By the way, she's writing an epic book about her life story, which is crazy.
Okay. This is before she became a singer. She has this crazy story that 5 movies can be made just from her story.
Yeah.
She went to a Christian school when she was younger. She became religious eventually. She went to a Christian school. She was meditating, doing stuff. We're not going to give away the book.
We're not going to give away the book.
But she went,
it was great.
until she found Hashem, she went to Afghanistan, Pakistan, Iran, Iraq, India, Turkey.
My gosh.
And did crazy stuff over there, crazy stuff. I'm not going to tell you.
When is her book?
Party with addicts cutting their legs off and stuff.
Crazy stuff.
When is her book coming out?
We don't know yet. She's still working on it, but it comes out, we'll let you know.
Determined.
Yeah,
but she's almost done with it.
Yeah,
it seems like a lot of people know she is. They're like, wow, her life story is incredible. Wow. She's a what?
So
she raised the wolf pack She's a super mom.
Well, she has you two as children. I mean, she's boss.
You know what I'm saying?
So what I want to say that really, you know, as someone coming out and doing something that is not really accepted, she only did it because the Rebbe pushed her. I mean, that really is the only reason. Or else
she's a soldier.
She would have gone, you know, back under the covers, because it's terrifying to do something like that. Yeah. It's not like now where, you know, we have so many singers and it's something that it's acceptable and people are looking for it. Then,
we're all like,
then it's not. Then it wasn't. So she really did something, you know, just because she understood there was a need. So back.
Yeah.
So when I was growing up, I was torn between, you know, knowing that I'm supposed to listen to Jewish music, to the fact that I don't have anyone where I can learn from, because, you know, Avram Fried's great and all that stuff, but I was looking for a female singer that I can, you know, that's so much better than me, that I want to imitate her.
You want to aspire to be like her.
Exactly. And I didn't have anyone besides my mother. And it was really
is a great role model, by the way.
Yes. Right. And a great voice.
But you needed more.
So it was difficult. So I was listening to non-Jewish music, and I always felt bad about it, but it wasn't ever for the words. It was always just for like it was like my voice lessons, basically. I'd like listen to a Mariah Carey song, like, and like try and imitate all the things you're doing over there.
Hey, do something cool.
So I was like,
she's like a party trick, you know? I take her like, hey, sing.
Give us another one. So
but that's a great correlation. Like, I was trying to figure out who I could relate, which singer you relate to the most. Mariah Carey, would be.
Even though I've gone a little country here and there. I love
bit of Celine Dion in you.
I love country, actually.
I
even have a country song. I have a song that I wrote that it's really country styled. It's like, really country.
Oh, country road.
And because I love that kind of music. And so eventually I understood that, you know, this has to be done. There isn't modern music for girls, and we need that, because all girls are looking elsewhere. I saw all my friends, everyone was looking elsewhere. So then I decided, okay, when I'm going to grow up, I'm going to put on an album. Mm-hmm. So I started working on my album, and then I'm like, okay, so album's great, but people are still watching music videos of other singers. We need music videos. I'm like, okay, I'm going to go do that. And that was also something that was, you know, not so acceptable because it's on YouTube and kind of whatever. But I'm like, you know what?
As long as you write Kol Isha, you're good to go.
I wrote for women and girls only, Kol Isha, and even at the bottom, inside the comments, inside the description box, I wrote, please respect, you know, my things that I go by. It's Kol Isha, and by us, men aren't permitted to listen to women's things. So please, you know, if you can respect my wishes, and I'd really appreciate it, even though it is on YouTube and everyone can watch it. But please, you know, I'd ask you to appreciate, to respect my, you know.
Wow, Chaya, you're really good. Like, you're really good. There are people on Instagram that they write like Kol Isha, and you want to follow them, so they're like, are you a female? And you say yes, and they're good to go. And then there are other ones that are like, send me a voice note, a picture. I want proof that you're a female. You know, there's two people out there, but I love that you go even above and beyond. You're like, I wrote Kol Isha, but I'm also going to write in the comment section.
Yeah. So I try, but I know how much people get from these music videos, and people have told me that they've stopped listening to non-Jewish music. And because I put my music out there, there was even a shlucha, which is like, listen, I know I'm a shlucha, but like every time I go on my sport walks, I can't listen to Jewish music. I'm not going to listen to Avram Fried, you know? So like I put on non-Jewish music, but since your music has come out, I only listen to you. So I'm like, you know, it's like, that's what I wanted. That was my goal. And thank God, you know.
And thank God, #mission accomplished.
You're still working on it, you know, but thank God.
Your music.
Come. Stay tuned.
What?
Yeah. Much more music to come.
working on a music video. You know about that.
Well, I do. Hold on. You just said take 2, because guess what, folks? You're not going to believe this. I know it's past your bedtime, but I'm not letting you go to sleep. No way.
We're still drinking coffee. We don't sleep. Right to each other at 3 a.m. It's like, Sinead,
I'm about to crack this open right now.
Yeah.
At 3 a.m. Did you listen to my new song yet?
Look me up with that shit.
This is like, we're going into the after party, guys, because
I cracked it open. That's it.
And I filled my coffee cup with water because I already finished the coffee. This is really nebuch. You know, like when there's a little bit of coffee and you fill it up with water, it's disgusting. That's what's up.
I love that.
That's what's up right now.
Water. Iced coffee water. I love it.
That's for the people who can't have coffee,
I do that all
but
the
they
time.
want like that tiny taste.
It's like you get to have 2 cups of coffee.
So hold on. I'm shutting this off because I am, believe it or not, we finished an hour and I'm literally just, we just started and an hour has gone by already. It's telling me I have a countdown to my life. So
You have a time machine?
Yeah. I wish I had a time machine. If I had a time machine, I would go back to the 90s in a second for 2 days. I just want to be in the 90s again. Life was so much
Simpler. Quieter.
Simpler.
Let's. You know what I mean?
Like we had the little Nebby beepers, the color beepers.
We had Game Boys. Remember Game Boys and like Tetris? You know? Oh my gosh.
Cassettes and floppy disks.
Oh my God. Cassettes. Here we go. You remember the cassettes where we went like this? When like the string
Oh
got
my God. And then you like hours trying to get them straight out.
Show a kid a cassette and a pencil. They're like, what? Like, what do you do with that? Like, you tap on your iPhone with that, with a pencil?
I'm shutting off, but I'm gonna tell you one thing. I always say this. You know how you know you're old? When you fill out an application online and it says date of birth. So you click on it and then you have to scroll down to 1982 for 4 hours later. You're still scrolling. You know you're old. Okay.
Oh my
I'm
God.
saving this live. Hold on one second, guys. Come on back.
On?
Yes. Hold on one second.
Okay.